Hello, everyone from A Case of Living. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. We're going to talk today about unconditional love, but it's in connection with this portal that we are coming out of. We're in the shadow still of the 1010 portal energy. And what we've been talking about this void that many people are feeling as we are coming out of all of these retrogrades. We have been, as you all know, in several retrogrades all year. We had, let me see if I can think of all of them. Mercury retrograde, of course, and Jupiter was retrograde. Those are two of the big ones I can remember. We are coming out of those. We had another large retrograde that we're coming out of. Not sure what that was. Can't remember it. But we also have Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto that we're coming out of before the year's over. And then we had three smaller planetoids or asteroids or whatever body you want to call them that most mainstream astrology was not discussing, and really we needed to be aware of because they were actually very close to Earth. A couple, or at least one of them, were actually between Mars and Earth. And so they were affecting us as well. So, of course, what the retrogrades were doing, retrogrades cause us to revisit things we've already done. They don't just mess up our electronics, folks. That's Mercury retrograde communication. But retrogrades cause us to revisit what we've already done. And with the Neptunian retrograde going on all year, with Uranus and the Pluto effect attached to it, those who follow tarot know that we've been looking for our ninth cup, going to see, or our eighth cup, I'm sorry, although we've got all these other cups, we've been going to find the missing cup, that thing that we love, that thing that lights us up, that thing that's missing. Or we've been trying to figure out what swords to keep and what swords to get rid of. Swords being the responsibilities, the things that we've manifested that maybe we don't want anymore. And so that's what we've been doing all year, is we've been evaluating our lives and saying, who am I and why am I here? What am I doing? What really lights me up? We've actually been trying to get into frequency, is what we've been doing. And so as many people have awakened to the fact, as I call it, energetic awakening, not spiritual, because it really has nothing to do with spirits. It has to do with the fact that we are energy. As we have awakened to that knowledge, awakening simply means you've become aware of, consciously aware of. As we've become aware of the fact, hey, we're energy. We've got a frequency to be in. We are these light beings that vibrate, that exist in the frequency of unconditional love. Yes, my lights went up. I saw that. That's given approval, of course. We exist in this frequency of unconditional love. And they have slowed down enough, which makes them come down through different densities. And as they got to dense enough to be slow enough for there to be an earth plane of existence where there could be tactileness, a physical entity for them to live out the same existence through, well, it was meant to be in the same bandwidth, unconditional love. We were never meant to get into the dense energies of hate, unhealthy competition, anger, unforgiveness, all of those things. We were always meant to be a high vibrational people. But because of how we ended up co-creating and the fact that expansion of consciousness means you don't know what's going to happen, it didn't quite go to plan and we got out of frequency. We weren't using our chakra system correctly. So now the light beings figured out, oops, we have to fix this. And so we now reverse engineer things. We decide on what the story is going to be before we come here. Therefore, we can keep it in the bandwidth. There's some wiggle room there, but for the most part, we decided all before we come. We, the light being, slowed down to have a human tactile existence, decide before we get here. That's our free will. It's not somebody else, some other being in control with a long white beard or something like that, or some archangel that is set apart from us, that is apart from us and has dominion over us. These light beings are us. Okay. So just slow down so they can be tactile in the frequency of unconditional love, who have made these decisions. And they've been trying to transmit the energy, the transmission to the intuitive mind or the heart chakra. So we have finally come to this tipping point where the stories are reverse engineered and we have coming up in vibrational frequency through the dense energies to the point where we have become consciously aware of this, consciously aware at least of our chakra systems, getting them reactivated and using them correctly so that we're getting the intuitive messages. And we're at this tipping point where these two can meet and we can start living as intended, the beautiful stories we're here to live. And when we do that, we reverberate out the correct butterfly effect. And when we reverberate out the correct butterfly effect, I'm where I'm supposed to be, according to all the stories. You're where you're supposed to be. Everyone is. So everyone is getting their unconditional love or heaven on earth or happy ever after, whichever way you want to put it. Their once upon a time is turning out the way it is meant to, because we're all in frequency. But you see, if one is out of tune, well, the orchestra sounds a little bad. If a bunch of us are out of tune, well, it sounds pretty bad. But if a lot of us are out of tune, there are big voids in the butterfly effect. There are big holes in it. You see, we're all supposed to be where we're supposed to be, reverberating out the correct butterfly effect. And this is the point in time we're at. Many people have awakened and are getting into frequency, but many have not. And this portal energy was a time to help those who are in frequency pull their energy to themselves and go forward. In spite of the fact that many others have not yet. In spite of the fact that there are voids in that butterfly effect. Someone is supposed to be here, they're not there. Someone is supposed to be here, they're not there. Someone is supposed to be here, they're not there. The light beings that we are can see all of this, and they can send us through our intuitive mind and through our other extraordinary senses, through our chakra system, guidance to work around this, to reattune our heart chakra, to change our story, to work around those who have not yet gotten into frequency. The most loving thing we can do is get in frequency, because staying out of frequency means all of these here, they have no reason to get in frequency. Everything is status quo. So you're not getting the life you're supposed to, and they're not going to get theirs either. So all the becauses that we come up with, well, I would, but I can't because, no, that's the very reason you have to. Well, I can't because it'll break mom and dad's heart if I stop believing or telling them I believe the things they believe. No, mom and dad are never going to get into frequency if you don't go ahead and get into frequency. You can't be inauthentic to please someone else. That's societal programming. We don't live our lives to please other people. We live our lives authentically. When we do, we show up where we're supposed to be. Now, will mom and dad ever get into frequency? I can't tell you they will, but they damn sure won't if you don't. So these voids we have left unfilled, they're grieving us. They're grieving us. So we're being called to step up and take care of our own emotional well-being. This is how we got into frequency to begin with, folks. True self-care, self-love. And that brings us to today's topic, which is unconditional love. What is true unconditional love? Because true unconditional love is how we're going to handle this grief that we're feeling. It's how we're going to stay in frequency. And by us practicing it, it's what those who are not yet in frequency will see. It's the energy we'll be reverberating out. It's the energy they will be feeling. You see, the reason all of this works is the energy you put out is what you attract back. The heart chakra will transmit to you your story. That story will light you up. How do I want to be treated? Who do I want to be? What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? And you get in that frequency. And you overcome, you transcend the programming of the mind, where society is saying, you can't move away from the family. No one does that. You can't leave the family business. You'll break the family's heart. You can't go do that. People like us don't do those things. What do you mean you're going to go off and be happy ever after? There's no such thing. Mankind wasn't here to be happy ever after. Life is hard. This is Earth University. We're meant to learn things the hard way. That's what life's really all about. All this BS we've been filled with, which they were filled with before, and the ones before them were filled with, and the ones before them. Societal programming. People in the cheap seats telling us how to live our lives. No. Or family lineage, ancestral. This is how our family does things. I take forever to make a decision. I move slowly. We don't accept change. We hold grudges. What do you mean forgive them? You see what they did to us? Yeah, forgive them anyway. It's low vibrational not to. We don't forgive in this family. Somebody does that to us, we get them back. Let it go. Just because your family did it doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. Doesn't mean your family were bad people. It's what they knew. Let it go. Or it's attached to our past life, energetic DNA. And so we've brought it forward with us, and we don't even know why we're doing it. We're just doing it because we have an energetic remembrance of it. Let it go. Let it go. I don't know why I do that. I don't even feel good doing it. I don't like myself when I do it. I look in the mirror and I'm like, why'd you do that? Cutting your nose off to spite your face. Yeah, but this is what we do. It's what we've always done. It's how we do things. And when we don't do it, well, people don't like us any better. Well, how do we know? That's why we've always done things, you said. Well, a couple times we didn't, and it didn't go well. Well, when did we not do it? Well, I don't know, a couple times. We have to transcend the mind. So the heart gets the message, the transmission. So we feel, we get the emotion, the energy in motion. And it's a higher vibrational emotion. It's not down there in the dense energies. It's not anger, depression, hate, lack of compassion, dog eat dog. I'm going to take care of me and mine first. There's not enough. It's not a lack of mentality. It's not all about me. It's not power. It's not hoarding. It's not unforgiveness. It's not any of these dense energies, but it's higher vibrational energies. There's enough to go around. I can forgive. I want to be happy. I want to be lighthearted. I believe the world is supposed to be blissful. I believe work is supposed to be enjoyed and fun. I believe people are supposed to live where they want to live and have the life they want to have. I believe everybody's supposed to get to be who they want to be. I believe in freedom and respect. I believe that joy really exists and is meant to exist and can be maintained. High vibrational ways of being. So we will have all of this high vibrational energy come to our heart space. It lights us up. And we have to transcend the mind, which will say, well, we can't do that. We couldn't do it before because we were in a different level of consciousness. But now we know. So we integrate the mind with the higher level of consciousness that we now are. And then we act upon that higher level of consciousness. Then we have congruent energy going. Feeling, thought, and action all working together so we stay in frequency and we go forward on our timeline. And we pull all of our energy back to ourselves. This is how we heal and we progress. We let go of everything that no longer serves us. We don't stay in situations because we're supposed to, because no, you're not. You're supposed to be in frequency. So you can be reverberating out so everyone else can be in frequency, because that's what we're supposed to do. Because then everybody's happy. So we let go of everything that doesn't fit what our heart space is telling us, what lights us up. So hold on a second, I can't do that. Got to pay my bills. I hate that job, but I got to pay my bills. And been married to that person for 20 years, and we had kids together and a mortgage, and you transition responsibly. You get another job before you leave that one so you can pay your bills. You don't leave them in a lurch, you work out your notice, but you move nonetheless. You don't love that person. Did you ever? Maybe you did. If so, then the relationship was right at the time, perhaps. Or perhaps you were never really in total resonance. And it's what you settled for because you didn't know. But now you do. And you stay. Well, if your energy is not resonant with them, theirs isn't resonant with yours. They're not living the life they're supposed to either. It doesn't mean you run out and you don't help finish that mortgage, or you don't find a way, you don't sell the house or whatever. It doesn't mean that you don't keep being the parent to the kids. You do it the responsible way, but you do it because you stay. Neither one of you are in frequency that way. There's nothing loving about that. And you're not supposed to stay where there's not real love, where you're not being authentic. Friendships where you're just there because, well, he buys the beer. No. It's not the reason why. Stay in friendships that are truly energy for energy loops, where you're giving and they're giving back, where you're connected to one another because this is who I am, this is how I show up, this is who I am, this is how I show up. And you have a relationship dimension, because that's what unconditional love is. And that's what we're all called here to do. We're all called here to be in emotional well-being, to practice the multidimensional modality for love. 1 + 1 = 3. Every relationship, work, with your parents, with your friends, everyone. Unconditional love is not, no matter what he does to me, I'll love him unconditionally. I hope not. What if he beats you? Well, that's not okay, but the church says I gotta stay. Well, 1, no, it doesn't. And 2, no, you don't. Well, mom and dad think he's a good guy. Well, mom and dad ain't the one he's beating. Well, but remember the mortgage and the kids. Yeah, get out of it responsibly. Get out. Unconditional love means you don't show up with a list of conditions. You're perfect. I love you. Now, here's the things I want you to fix. Here's my conditions to love you. Here's what it's going to take for me to keep loving you. No, here's what I want you to do. This is what I want from you. There's no list of conditions, because nobody needs a list of conditions, because I'm me, healthy, happy, whole, and complete. This is how I show up. I'm handing you my list of expectations of me. These are my expectations of me. I don't hand you a list of expectations of you. You're showing me what to expect of you. You're going to hand me this is me. This is how I show up. This is what you can expect of me. So I don't hand you a list of conditions, a list of expectations. You don't hand me a list. We show up in the energy we are. We're attracted to one another to begin with because we're being authentic. So we naturally just show up and are attracted and we identify how we show up. And then we create another whole dimension. So we're exponential. That job that you applied for, it's a high vibrational company. The two of you are a match. Your chakra systems light each other up. They treat you with respect as a whole complete being, the whole package. You're what they want. They're what you want. You have a relationship dimension. You have the job description. You have what you say you'll bring to the table. And you continue to put energy into that by living up to what you said. And they do the same. And if conditions switch, if conditions change, the relationship dimension is where you discuss it. So now their high vibrational energy is a part of that. Yours is a part of it. And the relationship is a high vibrational dimension itself. It's not just two high vibrational energies. Now there's three there. You, that place of employment, and that job that you're holding is exponential. Work is amazing now. And yes, it's meant to be. We are meant to love what we do and to shine at what we're doing and to excel at what we're doing. And that's the kind of places you should be in, because you should be attracted to them and they should be attracted to you. And that's where we're supposed to be. That's how our lives here are supposed to be. That is when we're healthy, happy, whole, and complete. You see, the integrity of our energetic field is in place then. Energy is moving as it should. So there's no stuck energy. There's nothing coming to our energetic field that is chaotic energy. Nothing is non-resonant. So the human body doesn't get diseased. There's no discomfort in the energetic field. There's no dis-ease. So there's no human disease. That's how it's meant to be. Then your parasympathetic nervous system doesn't go haywire. We don't get fight, flight, and freeze. Our chakra system is being taken care of. It's being maintained. We're healthy, happy, whole, and complete when we live as the full light being that we are, using our chakra system to communicate with them and live out the life as above, so below, which is in the bandwidth of unconditional love. That's unconditional love. When you let who you are attract you to all the things and people it's meant to. That's unconditional love. So to get through this void, that's how we're meant to live. Take care of yourself. The tarot reader that they always had me listen to, I was listening to her this morning and I'm like, what in the world is she talking about? Because the reading she was doing was about someone who is a diamond, who is amazing, but who has been waiting and waiting for someone, and they need to heal. They need to take care of themselves. And I'm like, this reading's not for me. I do take care of myself. I take care of myself. I've done the healing work. And then I realized when they said, we want you to talk about emotional well-being and unconditional love today. I'm like, oh, to help people coming through the void. She kept going on and on about taking care of yourself. Yes, you love this person and you've given and you've given and you've given to this person, but it's time to take care of you. And once you take care of you, if she didn't say this part, she didn't say, if they get into frequency, they'll come. She'll say that's when they'll realize your worth, and that's when they'll come. Because that's how law of attraction works. And we can manipulate energy that way. We get into frequency, and then we've pulled our energy from someone because we're no longer giving all of our energy to them, and then they come running. That's how runner chaser with twin flame ends up happening. They're running because you're giving too much energy to them. They feel you no longer give energy, and they stop running. They come back. They're like, well, where'd all that energy go? And you're like, oh my God, they're here. And so you start giving them energy again, and they're gone again. Don't go into that game. If they don't come back and they're not in frequency, don't give them the energy. I'm not saying cut off communication. Keep your heart open. But whether it's twin flame, whatever relationship it is, whatever you have had to redistribute energy from, Now, it may be something you were totally meant to move on from. It's not an energy redistribution. It's a plain no. You're progressing from it. You're releasing it. But if it's an energy redistribution, forgive everything, including yourself. Raise your vibrational frequency up to your level of consciousness now. Pull your energy to yourself. Go forward on your timeline. Take care of you. How do I want to be treated? How do I want to feel? Who do I want to be? What do I want to experience? Be in frequency and go forward, being you, reverberating out. First, taking care of you. Then you give that same energy out to the world. You cannot have it if you don't put it out. You have to show mutual respect. Those who have taught that self-care is talk to the hand, not the face. It's all about me. I'm sorry, folks. You do that, it's all about you, all right. You're going to be by yourself, having nothing. You're going to be taking care of you, and there's going to be nobody else around, except for lower vibrational people who are just as selfish and made it all about them. That's what you're going to be surrounded by. And all of y'all going to be looking at each other like this. That's not self-care. That's building walls and being selfish. Self-care is taking care of yourself so you can then put that energy out. It's loving yourself so that you can then be vulnerable and just simply have parameters. We don't need walls when we are dealing with resonant energy. Parameters. So people know and can feel energetically, okay, this is where we're no longer, this is we're resonant to this point. This is where we stop. This is where they can feel it. You don't even have to have a lot of conversations about stuff. We're energy for energy here. Oh, that's too far. We're energy for energy here. Or the conversations are easy to have because you're with resonant energy. That's self-care. That's how we have unconditional love in our lives. It's not hand on our hip demanding, you will be this way or I'm out of here. When you have to do that, you're in non-resonant energy. You need to be out of there anyway. You need out of there anyway. Yes, you're right. It's time to pull your energy from it. It's time to forgive everything, including yourself. Release it. Bring your energy back to yourself and go forward on your timeline, but let it all go. And take care of yourself and get in frequency and set up parameters. Leaving your heart open. Parameters. Your heart can be open when you're in resonant energy, and you can be vulnerable because you're not at risk, because you're with your star family, energies that resonate. They resonate with you, and you have natural support. When you need something, they're there for you. They want to see you shine. They want 1 + 1 = 3. They don't want to do this to you. They don't want 1 + 1 = 2. They don't want to swallow you up. They don't want a 1 + 1 = 1 where it's all about them and you maybe get a little crumb here and there. They don't want any of that. 1 + 1 = 3. You're shining, we're shining, I'm shining, we're shining as a relationship. And it all flows. And you continue to put your gratitude, your energetic bandwidth into that relationship. And you pull it from all the things that aren't resonating with you. All those things that got your hand on your hip and pull it from that because that's non-resonant energy. But I can't because, well, went to college with those girls and we go out every Saturday night. And that's what a real woman does is she puts her hand on her hip and she does self-care. She lays the law down and she goes out with the girls on Saturday night. Not if you got to do it that way, honey. If you got to do it that way, you and a bunch of non-resonant energies. Yeah. If you're not really enjoying the time with those girls, I mean, you went to college with them. Do you still resonate with them? If you do, great. But if you got to put your hand on your hip and you're only going out because that's what a real woman does, she has her own time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Damn, listen to how chaotic that even sounds. Listen to how confrontational that is. If that's what you've got to be, to have time for yourself and to have enjoyment, to have recreation that you feel good about and that you feel like is yours, you got some heavy duty chaotic energies going on. You got a lot of non-resonant stuff. So this isn't working. You need to be looking at all of that and figuring out, what is my heart chakra telling me? What is my intuition telling me? What do I really want out of life? Who am I really? What light being am I? What energy is coming down here that wants to live in unconditional love? And what does that even mean? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Because I can tell you, society has not told us that stuff. What society has told us is this, and that's not that. Unconditional love is not confrontational. Unconditional love isn't, I got to lay the law down. Unconditional love isn't, I can only tell my spouse or my parents some stuff, and I got to hide the rest. Unconditional love isn't, I can only give so much to my family, and I got to hold back everything else. Unconditional love is you get to be yourself, open-hearted. Love yourself and vulnerable, because nobody's overrunning you. Your parameters are enough because the people in your life are resonant energy. It's energy for energy loops. They want to see you shine. If going out on Saturday night and going dancing or something is what's going to make you shine, the energies you're with, they're going to be good with it. They may even go with you. And you're going to be happy about them going. It's not going to be, oh God, I didn't want him to go. It's going to be, yeah, all right, because we have a great time doing that. Life isn't chaotic and hard and this, it's not like that. This is energy that's chaotic and not resonant. And that's not what life is. We're meant to be with our star families. And our star families are just energy. They may not look alike. They may be pink with purple polka dots, and you may be orange. You may be a round peg. They may be a square peg. They may speak a different language than you do. They may use binary code. You may use something else. You get my point? Energy doesn't see all of the things that we have used as labels, the human constructs we have. Energy is just energy. Even the fact that we've labeled it as divine feminine and divine masculine isn't actually correct. Energy is energy. And what resonates is what resonates. And that is all that matters. That's all that matters. And we don't have to do any of that stuff with unconditional love. And that's the bandwidth we're meant to be in. Keep your heart open. Get in frequency and have your heart open. And the voids that are there, take care of yourself. Yes, you care about those people that aren't in the place that you know they should be, especially twin flame, because they're the other half of you. They're not just the love of your life in this lifetime. They're the other half of you for all of existence. And the other densities and the other dimensions, all the way up to the top of your light being, oh, you see the lights, yes. The two of you are together. So not being able to live out the happy ever after here, the unconditional love here, and the tactileness where you can have the tactile experiences, yes. That is why y'all light each other up so much, is to enjoy that. And you can't. Sure, you're feeling it. Sure, you're grieving. Keep going forward. Take care of you. But it doesn't mean that you never think about them. That's the other thing. Putting your energy into you doesn't mean, oh my God, I thought about them. I messed that up. They're not going to ever come toward me now because, oh, I gave them some energy. I thought about them. No, you're going to think about them. It means you're taking care of your emotional well-being. You're not giving them your energy. You're not stopping your life and saying, are they going to catch up now? Are they going to catch up now? No, you're going on. because they may not catch up. You have no control over that. Is it their story? Yes. But you have no control over whether they do it or not. So take care of you and keep your heart open to all the other good things that come in. And you keep moving. Keep your heart open. And all the rest of your star family, let them support you. You're meant to shine. Shine. This is like the force field that is around the molecules that are us, that are moving slow enough to have a tactile body. And they help keep us in frequency. Keep your energetic field intact. Being the one and only you. Something like topaz, that's one of the crystals that helps. It shares a message of abundance. It wants you to notice your gifts within. It wants you to shine. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my heart chakra telling me? We're all of us brimming with insights and intuitive knowing. We're far-seeing and empathetic. That is, when we allow ourselves to be, and we don't bury our inner truths and self-doubt. So they're in the void. So they are the void. They haven't come forward. You go forward anyway. And you take care of you. And know you're not being selfish. You're showing up in the world exactly as you were meant to. You take care of you. That is true self-care. And it is unconditional love. You haven't placed a condition on them. You're simply putting out the energy that is authentically you. And that they either get in frequency so they can be attracted to that and come into that energetic field without pulling you out of frequency, or they don't. But you being out of frequency and trying to be with them, that is certainly not love. That is chaotic energy. Blue topaz asks you to open to the richness of your intuition, the way your dreams offer glimmers of possible futures, and your stomach knows when the situation is not quite right. Your solar plexus, that powerful part of us, the intuitive mind that has the gut knowledge. My gut told me. I knew in my gut. You know in your gut that you can't be with somebody that's not resonant energy. My last marriage was 15 years. Did I want another failed marriage? No. Did I want to be by myself in a one-bedroom apartment wondering every day, how am I going to do this? No. But in my gut, I knew you can't stay here in this chaotic energy. Blue topaz reminds you there's richness within. You don't need a teacher or a textbook. You simply need to be soft and listen. Take care of yourself. True self-care. Yes, it's putting yourself first so you can then be open-hearted and vulnerable. Because taking care of yourself means you're in frequency. Putting out resonant energy with mutual respect. So what's coming back at you is resonant energy. It's safe. Stay in frequency, stay in resonant energies. There are 33 chambers in your heart chakra, all containing love. Your heart is open to the extent that you have mastered how to do this. A warm and loving heart enfolds other people so they feel safe and loved, and they love you in return. This means you're in frequency. You're in frequency. The energy you're putting out is attracting back resonant energy. As your heart opens and you feel free to share your feelings, you also allow yourself to be vulnerable so people trust you and feel close to you. Resonant energies. This is to remind you to be generous and giving of yourself. Your guidance is to breathe into your heart. Allow the heart chakra to expand. When we slow down, when we do our breathing, when we connect with ourselves, connect with the intuition, listen to the heart. We know. We know what's right for us. We get the transmission. Follow it. Trust yourself. Most important, but I'm sorry. Whenever we do this, pure love pours in to the chambers of this chakra. Actually, they're kind of mixing up the real heart with the chakra, which is energetic. It's a swirling vortex, points of energetic transference. You're getting a transmission. It lights up, and this dissolves any old hurts or blockages you may still have. What dissolves those? Forgiveness. It's the quantum leap to healing everything. Forgive it all. Everything that was done before, no matter how heinous. It was in a different level of consciousness. It doesn't mean you let them back in your energetic field to do it again. There are some things true you never let back near you. But if consciousness has changed, if the frequency has changed, it may be something you can let back in. Your heart will know. Your gut will know. That's true self-care. I'm putting out this frequency. I have attracted them back. But they really did a number on me. My perimeter may not be enough for that, so I'm going to put a boundary up for that. I'm going to watch it more closely. Because that may be somebody who has narcissistic tendencies or some other agenda who purposefully mirrors high vibrational energies to get into their field and then goes dense to pull them out. That's protecting yourself. And that's all we have to do to protect ourselves. We don't have to be back in chaotic energies. And if you see that they're bringing dense energy in, that they're going back into dense energy, put them back out of your field. Maintain the integrity of your field, maintain your frequency. That's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be this big, chaotic rigmarole. Okay? Doesn't have to be trauma, drama, blame, shame, woulda, coulda, shoulda, all over again. Just give it a see. See what happens. Resonant energies you don't have to do this with. People who you've learned your lesson with, but seemingly have come up into frequency. Tread lightly. But remember, there are things we've all done that we're all coming up out of dense energies for. Everyone has the potential to come out of dense energy, so forgive everything and pull your energy back to yourself and move forward in frequency. Treating yourself the way you want to be treated first, putting that out, mutual respect, and attracting that energy back to yourself and others. You radiate unconditional love. You become caring and compassionate towards humans and animals. You have acceptance toward all sentient beings, and they respond in kind. It says with kindness, but actually it's in kind. You see the loving essence of others, and your path becomes happier. We become healthy, happy, whole, and complete, as meant to be. Opening the heart is the greatest possible way to lighten up your journey. For an open heart attracts help, kindness, true friendship, and all the support you need from the human, animal, and angelic world. When we open our heart, when we listen to our heart chakra, We are letting the light being that is us transmit to us what we need and guide us. We're letting the light come all the way down and ground into the Earth Star chakra. We are utilizing our entire chakra system as intended. We are living as above, so below, in the frequency of unconditional love, taking care of our own emotional well-being first, because until we are in the frequency ourselves, we cannot put out the right frequency. This notion that until you take care of yourself, you don't have the love to give to others, that's true. Because until you're in the right frequency yourself, you're not putting out the right frequency to attract the right people to you. And you can't reverberate out the right frequency, the right butterfly effect for everyone else in the world to have the life they're supposed to. That's what all that really means. So be in frequency. And the void that is there, yes, it's sad. But staying sad about it is not the way. Going back over there in it is not the way. You take care of you and you move forward and let them heal. Let them do their work. Send them love and light. Let them do their work. And you keep putting out your frequency. And if they come into resonance with you and they come into your life, wonderful. And if they don't, you just keep right on going, taking care of you. It's true self-care. And that's true unconditional love, because you will be in the frequency of it. And you will attract in a life that takes care of your emotional well-being, where your heart can be open and you can dare to be vulnerable and you can keep it open. And you will be surrounded by others like you. You will be healthy, happy, whole, and complete. And it's the only way we get there. It's the only way they get there too. They won't get there with us sacrificing ourselves. That's for sure. We can't get them here. So are we grieving about those that are the voids? As they told us the other night in the meditation, there is no darkness. There's only places where the light has not been allowed to come all the way down yet. We don't get to decide if or when they let their light come all the way down. But it is our responsibility to take care of our own, for ourselves and for the rest of the world. Because we are all meant to be here in unconditional love, for ourselves, for the rest of the world. You deserve that. And so does everyone else. And that person you're missing, it's the only thing that's going to help them get there too. Don't go out of frequency. That won't help them get there. You take care of you. It's the most loving thing you can do. And you be the one and only you, because you came here to do exactly that. As above, so below. Only you can be you and reverberate out that energy so everyone else can have their unconditional love as well.